All right, good evening, everybody. It's Friday again, May 17th, and coming up on the end of Joe Knott Week, meaning the Triple Tree Stunt Contest started today. They had Half A and Nostalgia Profile, I believe, are the events they had today. And then tomorrow morning, I'm headed up there for the Pampa Skill Class events and hope I make it in time for first round, but we'll get up as early as we can and go. Probably try to leave here about 6 or 6:30, and get up there in time to register, weigh in, pull test, and fly. Welcome, and going to be kind of a short show tonight since, like I said, I've got to get off and go to bed earlier than usual on a Friday night. I hope you guys over there on YouTube can see the video. It seems to be blacked out. If you go to the Stunthangar page where I post the links, everything looks good there. So uh, you can always go to the at the bench thread, or just probably if you go to the Stunthangar and refresh it. I'm scared to refresh it myself, um, and if, in case I blow the whole show. So now that I've started, I don't want to risk crashing it. So we'll just leave it like it is. Looks like we got two people watching, and hey, one of them is Pat. Hey, Pat, looks and sounds great on his end, so that's good. Hey, Bob Bishop, and all coming in fine there. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it alone. If and when it does refresh, we'll probably hear my echo in the background because the sound on YouTube will then start saying what I said however long ago it was. So yeah, we'll just have to get by that. But anyway, got three people watching out there, and I hope somebody up at Triple Tree is watching. They've got terrible cell service, but Sparky was going to try to go up the steps on the control tower and see if maybe he could get a good enough signal for a Wi-Fi hotspot. He's got a little broadcast device up there that he can make a hotspot for people to connect with their phones, tablets, laptops. And if that works, then maybe somebody out there is watching me. So if y'all are seeing us, welcome to the show. And I'll see you in the morning as soon as I can get there, too. Looking forward to that. I went up Thursday, and it was a beautiful day. We just hung out. They had a stunt camp. They had we didn't have the judging clinic because I don't think enough people were really interested in that at the time. If I had asked, they would have probably, done something, put up a flight, let me practice judging. But I've been through all that. So, hey, David Phelps, how you doing? Um, and but I didn't bother with that. I did take all my gear up there. I was planning on leaving it so it would be there when I got there tomorrow. It saved me the trouble, but I didn't leave it because they didn't have the big pop up pitched, the tent that I was expecting to be able to put it under. And so I just left it in the car. It's been riding around with me ever since yesterday. But anyway, so we're here for tonight. Links are in the usual places in the Stunthangar control line forums at the bench thread. And you can also go to the Stunthangar channel on YouTube and watch me there, where some of you obviously already are. And so let's see if anybody pops in. We got six people watching. I got a nice note today from Howard Rush, and I've often thought about inviting him to join. I don't go around much inviting people, soliciting the site, inviting people to join. But um, it was nice. It's nice to hear from your silent observers, silent watchers. Sometimes I like finding out who they are. And so he wrote us a nice note saying that he's been watching while he putters around in the shop and has learned some stuff, specifically referring to this past Monday night's show. I think we talked about a few things that he was interested in, and so that was nice of you to drop us a note, Howard. We appreciate that. Anybody that wants to come join us that's you know been kind of hesitant, give me a call if you want. I'll help talk you in before you give it a try. Hi, Gary Sinclair. Good evening. Oh, and that reminds me, Sparky said he got an email from you in his telephone, but he was not sure something about using his telephone and email. But anyway, he was having trouble responding to you. But he told me specifically to make sure that I passed his thanks along to you for getting the calendar project done. And he told me to tell you that he really appreciates that. And so thanks. Um, and speaking of Sparky, I promised him I was going to bring a Cox 15 Conquest engine to him. And of course, I forgot it and left it at home yesterday. And I put it in the car. If you're watching, Sparky, I will have your Conquest in the car when I get there in the morning. And I also have Steve Hines TD '09 in the car. And so, Steve, if you still need that TD '09, Sparky will have it for you. And if you don't need it anymore, well, Sparky will have it for you. Anyway, so anyway, and I'll tell you that again if you come in the show tonight. Excuse me, swallowed air and coffee. Hey, I cleaned my camera. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it sure looks better on my end. What a novel idea. So yeah, that's nice. I'm in living color again instead of drab gray, which sometimes I feel drab gray, but I don't need the camera helping me look any more drab or gray. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I hope I can get a good flight. I'm going to do my best to fly on my own 2 feet. And yesterday, I walked around all day long. I had the cane. I used it just touching down, to make sure I had balance, but didn't have to have it in order to walk. And felt good all day long. That was great. And I even got the plane out of the car and replumbed it, flushed the tank. I hadn't done that since I landed inverted at Huntersville. Put new lines on it, cleared the filter out, and burped it, ran a half tank through it. It runs good, so it's all ready to go. And I wanted to put up a little flight on one of the ring rats or something, just to see if I could stand up, but I never got around to it. It just it didn't work out, and I think the ring rats, by the time I was ready, the batteries were all on the charger, and just didn't happen. But I'll see how it goes tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to stand there, plant my feet, and fly. We'll see how we go, if I can turn circles or not. But hey, if I get a handle in my hand, it'll be a win. And so I wish it started a little later, but I know they're ready to get out of there. After one day of walking around there, I felt like I'd been rolling around in a dusty sandbox. I mean, I had dirt in my eyes, dirt in my ears and my nose. I'm telling you what, I was filthy. And that was just after one day of driving up there in the morning, playing all day and driving home at night. And I can't imagine what the people that have been there since last Saturday feel like, because it hasn't rained and the road is not wide enough for all of the traffic, and even 2 cars that are passing, both of them have to drive with at least one, sometimes both wheels in the dirt on the outside. And it was grass, it's usually they replant it, but right now that area is worn down to the dirt, and so it kicks up dust and it's just dry and dusty. So I bet those people are willing to start early and get the hell out of there tomorrow. And it'll be heavy traffic moving in the outward bound direction probably early on tomorrow. There'll be a lot of flying still going on probably at lunchtime, but after that I bet it tapers off, and it gets quiet in a hurry late in the day on Saturday. And I don't know when everybody's supposed to be completely gone. I guess you got to be out of there by Saturday night or maybe Sunday morning. I don't know. But all of us guys that camp in the control line section, I don't, but they just pitch tents in front of their cars. You don't have to stay in a special camping area. If you've got a truck or an RV, Will Parks is down there by the control tower, and there's a good little place for it that's out of the way, not in the driving area. And most of the guys bring tents and just camp right by their vehicles. So that's pretty convenient. You wake up and get your coffee, and you're standing right next to your flight gear and the circles, and everything's right there. And they've got a beautiful elevated patio that's covered with ceiling fans and electricity and everything you need out there. And it's very well outfitted. Now, Will posted a video the other day of Wayne flying in the rusty flying chair. That was the bar stool they outfitted me with. Mike and Will outfitted me with a chair to fly at Huntersville. They brought it up there, and it was a picture of Wayne Robinson flying one of the ring rats or something. And I thought the circle looked patchy. It had white spots on it, but it turns out the other two circles are beautiful, and that's the one that's right in front of the fuel tanks. And I think the GA planes, full size aviation, I think they park on that circle when they fuel up, and so it might be they might be getting a little bit of fuel burns in the grass or something like that. But I mean, it's good, it's smooth, and it's not soft patches. It's just that there's a few white patches of grass that are missing, but other than that, the whole place is so manicured. It's Bermuda, and it had a number. There's a sign that describes the grass that's out there, and it's a Bermuda and a 3-digit number. And they said it says "Think Golf Course," and that's true. It's just tight as a golf course green, or tighter actually. Depends on how much rain, but even in dry weather, it's really nice. You could go out there and roll around on your wheels for a whole tank at full speed if you wanted to. It's that smooth. And so I guess I could go on and on about how gorgeous Triple Tree is. I think I do it every year, at least for a whole show. So enough of that. And hoping somebody will come in here and visit with me and show me some camera time. So we got 12 people watching, and so I appreciate y'all out there. Y'all don't forget, if you are so inclined, that you've got the super chat button there, and y'all have been great about contributing through that. If you click that block $sign and give Stunthangar some money for server fees and equipment and everything that keeps the show on and free, and keep the videos coming from Triple Tree, Brodak, the Nats, everywhere else. That's all good, and it keeps my hobby budget afloat too. So thank you for you guys to do that. I can't thank you enough. Appreciate it. Yeah, about that. I looked at some videos earlier, and I was just doing a kind of a self check, and I noticed I say a lot, and see, it did it again. I try not to do that. And when I first started doing the show, I was very careful not to, and try to be well thought out about everything so that I could just come on and talk and not hesitate and throw those uhs in. So forgive me. I'm trying to learn not to do that. Gary Sinclair says, what does Mike and Son? Oh, I think they love it, but they had a rough day yesterday. I believe they might have wrecked everything they took except for the SV-22, which isn't running to Mike's expectations. They had David Fitzgerald and Derek looking at it, trying to get it trimmed out, engine run. And I didn't ask him about the details because Mike was concentrating hard, trying to get Sam flying and everything coordinated, and things just didn't go quite right. The half-A plane went up tail heavy. Thank you, Jack. Super chat contribution. I appreciate that. The half-A plane went up tail heavy after a repair, and as you know, especially in half-A, tail heavy planes, well, nose heavy planes fly badly. Tail heavy planes fly once. And that was the case with this one. It was just too squirrely, and it just whopped in hard. And I think he put it back together, maybe, but it's in pretty rough shape. Got a lot of epoxy on it. He had about a 5-second engine run. I watched the first part of the flight. He got off to a bad engine run, got it back down, and then got the engine running right and put it back up. And when it got up to full speed, it was just way too squirrely. But as far as the Pampa stunt event, or rather the full-size stunter event, Sam was practicing. He's putting in a pretty good pattern. He flies good shapes, really impressive. But he didn't make it through the bottom of the hourglass, and so they had to stop and repair that plane, and it's fine now. But I think they kind of retired it for the day. They were tired. They had a long day the day before getting there, and so I didn't talk to them a lot. They weren't in the mood for a whole hell of a lot of chatter. I gathered, we made a little small talk, and that's about it. But I think they're loving it up there. It's just, some days like that when you fly control line or RC or anything, just go that way. And this was one of those days. But hope today went well. I talked to Will, and Will said that nobody had a plane for half A. Everybody had wrecked their half A planes. So what they did was they took one of the ring rats and had a little impromptu fun contest to see who could fly the slowest for a certain amount of laps. And then they went through everybody. I don't know how many of them there were. Probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 people. But so they did that and decided to have a round 2. And for round 2, they would all fly inverted. I don't know if it was slow, fast, and I don't know what all the details were. But Will said they had a lot of fun. It was a great break in the tension, and not that there's a lot of tension, but it was a good comic relief, let's call it. And so they had fun doing that today, and that's nice. And David Fitzgerald donated his plane, Thundergazer. Forgive me if I'm wrong, to the museum, or donated it to Triple Tree. And so I watched him fly it 2 years ago. Now, last year got rained out. And then I watched him fly it yesterday a couple of times. And so that was nice to be able to see that plane fly on off the circle and right into the museum. And so that's where it lives now. And so thank you, David, for that. That was a great contribution. Let's see, Jack Snavely. Love this show and glad you and us are still on the air. Great commentary. Oh, thanks, Jack. I'm glad to have something to talk about for a change. And yeah, I enjoy talking about it, enjoy doing it. And I enjoy feeling good while I'm out there doing it. So this is all great. It's just right in my wheelhouse. And I'm on track to feel good tomorrow. I just hate getting up early. So if I miss first round, it ain't going to be the end of the world. If I only get to fly one round, that's fine. Like I said, if I get a handle in my hand, I'll be happy. And anyway, let's see. More news from Triple Tree. It must be something else. You have a sip of coffee to refuel the brain cells. Yeah, I got tired of my wristband last night. I had to cut it off. My Triple Tree wristband. Gotta tape it back on or something tomorrow. Oh, and look. Usually they have a commemorative aluminum plate like this from a couple of years ago. And one year it was the P-51 that they have in the hangar out there. And this year, initially, I was a little disappointed. It's a little cartoon, but it's 2 guys talking about that plane. That's a picture of their new 80-something scale, 85% Cub. And I haven't been up to the hangar yet, but we got a visitor. I didn't even see that. Must have come in while I had my back turned, Dennis.
Morning, Rusty. How you doing?
There you go. Yeah, how you doing tonight? I'm glad somebody came and visited me. But anyway, I was initially disappointed in the little plaque here. Yeah, I had a good time up there yesterday. The wind was not very heavy. However, it later in the day it got to where it would change directions, and it was the kind of wind where if you really didn't want to, you could fly anywhere you wanted to in the wind if you really didn't want to change. But most of the guys out of caution, put their backs in the wind like any good stunter will do. And but I think it's supposed to be about the same tomorrow, only about 90 degrees, and or hotter. It's supposed to be 90, 95, 96 here in Columbia, which is 90 miles away. So Sparky and his entourage were up there, and they were all wearing black. And it got hot yesterday. And I said, Sparky, I said, I hope you brought some white clothes for Saturday, because you can't come out here in 95-degree weather with that black outfit on. As one of his buddies, John, I think, said, hey, we're used to 65-degree days where we come from. And so I hope they don't get a heat stroke out there. Here comes Steve Hines. Hey, Steve, turn your mic on and you'll be live. I got your engine in the car, your TD09. So I'm going to give it to Sparky, and he can give it to you. And if you don't want it anymore, he's still going to give it to you. Okay.
Sounds good. Hey, Dennis, how's it going?
Hanging in there, Steve. How about you?
I was just sitting here babbling with my Joe Nall / Triple Tree commentary. And there's plenty of it. We had a good time. It was beautiful yesterday, and going to be tomorrow too.
How long of a drive is it for you to get there?
It ought to be about 90 minutes, but it seems like it takes me 2 or 2.5 hours every time I hit the road. But yesterday I had a traffic jam, of course. You just get to where you can't go anywhere without having to just plan for a traffic jam on I-26. And so I was slow getting there, but I got up there about 12:45 or so. Oh, here comes Mark McRiley. Boy, he hadn't visited us in a long time. Well, not that long, but a few weeks. Here we go. Hey, Mark. Welcome. Turn your microphone on and you'll be with us. But yeah, it's it's 90 miles, I think, to Woodruff. Well, they call it Woodruff. It's closer to Inouye, I think, and it's on the Inouye River. But it's beautiful area up there, nice and woodsy and green grassy.
So where I was at there, when I come down,
Run through that again. What'd you say?
is it close to where I was at when I came down?
From Huntersville, I'm thinking it's probably about 2 hours from Huntersville.
Oh, okay.
What you would do from Huntersville would be to take, I guess, 85 over to 385 or 85 over to 26, and then you wouldn't be far from Triple Tree there. So it's on I-26, not too far from where I-85 crosses 26.
So I didn't. Then how far is Huntersville from your house?
On a good day, I can get there in an hour and 55 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So a couple of hours. And it seems I always come for contests on Friday afternoon at rush hour. So it usually takes me 2:15, 2.5 to get there on those days. But that April, when I drove up there, I was up there in almost an hour and a half that day when you and Samantha were there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're probably 2 hours from Triple Tree there, though.
I'll let everybody know. I don't know how many's on YouTube or whatever, but
That's 13.
I got some dope. I ordered it Wednesday. I got it today, but as of Tuesday, it's going up $10 a gallon. It was 49, which I thought was high, but as of Tuesday, Randolph is raising all their prices $10 a gallon. So it's going to be $59.95 a gallon now.
We're raising the prices is better than dumbing down the formula.
Yeah. But so if anyone thinks about getting dope or is going to need any or whatever, Monday's your last day to get at them prices.
Wow. I'm just amazed at the way, the cost of the prices on everything, the way they keep escalating. And I suppose, compared to the cost of living and everything like that, I suppose it's no big deal. But my gosh, it's like, that's really daunting, pay that much for a gallon of dope. My gosh.
Yeah. That's what I thought too.
Looks like Leonard's here. Let me let Lynn in.
Hello, Toronto.
Hello there.
Hey, Leonard. Welcome.
Hello.
Lower your screen down. You look like that.
Yeah, I see,
Gilroy.
I see that.
So,
That's
oh, there,
Gilroy.
There we go. Better?
on second thought, raise it back up. Oh,
Yeah, we're good.
There we go.
yeah, that's better. Now you got it.
I got a nice note from Howard Rush today. He wrote me and said that he's watching the show while he putters around in the shop and learns things on it and appreciated what we were doing. And so I thanked him for that. Appreciate that. And so that's good. I like meeting my silent viewers and knowing who they are. And lots of people, like when I go to Triple Tree, for instance, on yesterday up there, people would come and start talking to me. And, oh, by the way, you know, I always watch your show and talk about that. And of course, they have the mistaken impression that I'm an expert in some areas and ask me questions. And I, you know, have to make sure I don't overstate what I do know. But I appreciate that when people come up, and a lot of people watch it that we never know about.
Tell Howard to get on. He can wear his clown uniform. He just can't wear a helmet.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it's funny. Hey, Mark, what you got going on, man? Hadn't seen you in a long time.
Not much. Mostly cleaning up. I am making a cell phone holster for work. I'm working on a speed plane for the Run What You Brung, but I won't have time to do it this year, so maybe next year's.
When is the Run What You Brung gonna happen?
By the end of the month.
Okay. For those that don't know, that's Cox Engine Forums. It's I think you call it a postal contest, or actually these days it's a YouTube contest, I guess, right? You just count the laps, raise your hand, then fly 10 laps, and somebody official times them for us.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I flew in the first one with my little P-51 Mustang. I was proud of that plane. That was a nice little plane I built, and I flew faster than everybody except for the contest director, which was JP Velo, which is Jim. Oh, his last name slips me now, but anyway, he won. He had more experience. I had never flown or built a speed plane before, but it went fast enough to win. And he recused himself from the prizes anyway, so I won prizes. That was cool. $50 from Bernie.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Well, I'd hoped to do some more flying with the same plane I flew for that video. Last week I told you I was cutting down props, but when I got to the field today, it was raining and no one showed up, so I didn't get flights in today. So instead, I just decided to make the rounds of all the hobby shops in the Portland area. That was severely disappointing. There's no such thing as a good hobby shop anymore in the Portland area.
Yeah. We don't even have a bad one now. We had a Hobby Town USA, which was relatively, but not really near me, and now they're way far away. And they just moved to Lexington instead of Columbia. So we've got Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and they got some things that are good, but not much. We had Hobby Stop up in Rock Hill, halfway between here and Huntersville, and that was the last real bona fide hobby shop there was, where the owner knew all about all of the stock. He was a modeler, a builder, a flyer, and knew all of the other hobby disciplines from trains to cars, you know, and took care of everybody and had everything we needed. But they closed up in March after, I don't know how many decades. They've been around longer than the club has. The club's been around, I think, since the early 1980s. Metrolina Control Line Society.
Well, people are just dropping out. Dennis is gone now.
Wonder what happened.
I don't know.
So we had Dennis and we had Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Lynn finally got a good connection when he changed browsers. He was using Internet Explorer, which is a known fail for Hangouts. And he finally came in the other night and was really clicking with not Firefox, but with Chrome. Worked really well. I got to get Bob Hunt straightened out. I hadn't gotten back with him to see if we can figure out what's wrong, but he's trying to use a Mac, and that's probably the wrong browser. I think that's a Safari or something like that.
Well,
Hey, where'd you guys go, Lynn and Dennis? Please come back.
yeah.
We're not going to be here too long tonight. I got to get up early in the morning to drive back up to Triple Tree.
Yeah, we got one of the Tour de Michigans tomorrow. I'm going to go there and help out. So
What's that? A marathon or something?
now they're going to have 15 speed, fun stunt. I think carrier, and it's like a fun carrier. I don't know. It's a different kind of carrier.
Yeah.
You can have the sliders and stuff. And
That
then
sounds like a pretty good event.
and then slalom. Where
Slalom?
you set posts all the way around, and you got to fly under them.
Oh, horizontal post sticking out, and you got to go with control line?
Yep.
Okay. Wow. I've never seen that.
Hit the post. You just got to fly between the two. Maybe the ground and 2 foot up. And
Wow.
so you fly between. It looks, when you're setting scoring, the low ones you get so many points for, the straight level ones you get 1 point for, the high ones you get.
Okay, so you can kind of pick and choose what you're able to do if you want to and get as many points as you can.
Now they ended up, Pat, that we fly to his place, somehow he did loops and looped it through the 4-pointer or 3-pointer, and just, he was so far ahead. Now you can't do loops.
Racking up points.
Racking up points. But yeah, it's a 2-minute flight, I think it is. They give up the horn, starts, and then you can.
What kind of planes do most of them use? Like stunt ships or something smaller? 15 size probably is a good plane for that.
Anything that'll fly slow.
Yeah.
You're thinking, oh yeah, go fast and get a bunch of points.
Yeah, it ain't that easy to go fast and be right on target, though.
You miss going in, even the level ones, people miss it. When they'll move you around and stuff like that, and you don't get any points. So, but yeah, it's a deal to where you can control the airplane, and I don't know, they're probably flying, if you can fly 5.8 second laps or whatever, they're finding out the plane stays out there. That's a good pace for you to hit the different deals, because there's four of them all at different levels.
Dennis is back.
I ain't worth the crap at it, but a lot of the guys are pretty good.
Hey, Dennis, what happened to you? You hear me, Dennis?
Hello, Dennis.
Can you hear me?
No, he can't.
You can't hear me. Can you hear me, Dennis?
Yeah.
Hello.
Internet crash, and then just came back on, and you guys are locked up on me. So I don't know what's going on. Looks like you lose Len too.
Yeah, right after
Same
you.
time, yeah.
Okay, right after. I figured it had something bad karma, that snide remark I made about his aiming his camera.
Nothing like that. Can you hear what I'm saying?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, good. Good.
Hey, last time I was here, everybody said my voice sounded weird. How am I coming through tonight?
So your audio is good tonight.
Yeah, plus when you turn your head, your mic isn't picking up, but
yeah, we do completely lose you when you turn your head away. But other than that, it's fine.
Yeah, as long as you're facing it, it seems pretty good.
Yeah, I guess I'm not even really sure where the mic is on this thing.
Is it a laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some minuscule little pinhole somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Still learning. This is the only application I've ever used the camera on or anything like that. So
that seems to work okay. The mic's probably right next to the camera.
Building anything or working on that one composite?
No, not working on anything like that. You asking me or are you asking Mike? I'm
I
sorry.
was asking you, Dennis.
I'm working on a conversion for the Viking old timer right now.
Oh, okay.
Hoping to have that for the fly-in. So actually, this is what I have. This is most of what I have so far. Whoop.
Let me click on that.
Now I just completed the wing, so I'm ready to start the fuselage and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully, in the next few days I'll have something to show off. But,
Oh, okay. You got the battery box stuff all made up for it, and
yeah, well, all designed and everything like that. So I'm trying to write the manual as I go and stuff like that. So far, I have right now the fuselage sides are, if you will, they're simmering away. I got the doublers on them, and I put them up in a pre-curve manner. Okay, and so they're weighted down, but I put some sticks under it and everything like that. So I have basically a 1/4 inch of curvature in each fuselage side with the doubler on it. I'm hoping that should be enough to do it. And he showed how to do that, and it'll be part of the manual and stuff. But when you get the doubler on the side and stuff like that, they get pretty stiff and hard to bend and stuff. So
now is this isn't a built-up fuse, is it?
yeah.
Oh, the Viking was I was
Yeah,
thinking,
the Viking old time chip. It's basically it's a big barn door wing or Hershey bar wing, if you want to call it, 560 squares. It's full fuselage. You've seen a half dozen of them out on the field anyway.
oh, okay.
John Paris has one. Let's see, I don't know, quite a few of them at Brodak. A couple of years ago, the Brodak kit originally was designed with a sheeted leading edge, and that wasn't the way the 1950 airplane was built. The airfoil was accurate, but it wasn't supposed to be sheeted. So I think it was 2 years ago, I redid the kit for John, re-engineered it, and it now has an open bay wing on it the way it should. The original Viking was also famous for flapping its wings, losing its wings. So when I redid it, I did it with spars in the correct location, but the spars are a lot beefier than the original ones were. So
I think Bob Zambelli's got a Viking that's one of his favorite flyers to bring out.
He's got a Viking, and he's got the littler, the smaller one is the Vampire, the black and white
That's
aircraft.
it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's got the Viking he has. It's red. He flew it with the OK Super 60 on ignition. It's just an app. He always wore a Viking helmet when he flew it.
I've never seen him do that.
Okay. Yeah, he's a real hoot.
Yeah, he always brings that.
That's just a great combination. I mean, you get the OK on ignition. Everybody, really downplay the OK 60s. They weren't they weren't very good, or whatever. Well, this one he's got runs just fine, thank you.
Bob shows up with some eclectic equipment at the field.
He sure does.
It's always a treat to see what comes out of it. He'll pull up in that Ferrari and take plane after plane after plane out of it. Like, damn, Bob, that thing's bigger on the inside.
He shows up at Brodak week with a whole car full of airplanes, for all the events and everything like that. And you look at the car, my God, there ain't nothing to it.
He's a hoot.
I think it was last year, off times during the fly-in, he was replacing all the spark plugs or something like that. And
yeah.
So he's out there over by the hobby shop, and he's just there. He's got the engine parts laying all over the place. But that would be a fun way to travel a contest, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. I didn't see him yet. He didn't show up yesterday at Triple Tree. I'm hoping he'll be there tomorrow morning.
I don't know.
Where does he live? Doesn't he?
He lives in Manning, South Carolina. That's about 60 miles southeast of where I live.
Oh, okay.
About an hour away. He's got a nice place to fly down there too. Vacant lot across from his house.
Well, doesn't he live like on the edge of a community airport or something like that?
He lives in a Palmetto air plantation. It's a gated airport community, and the signs on the road say cars yield to aircraft, you know, so people drive their airplanes on the street, you know, and from their hangars, because their hangars are all attached to their houses, and so they pull out of their hangar into the driveway, crank up, drive it across the street to the field, and take off. It's fun. And of course, Bob's got, last time I was down there, I think he had 2 planes. He's got his little yellow, I can't remember planes, what they are, but little yellow plane that he flies frequently. And then he had another one, and then he had a couple of cars in there. Nice manicured, clean work area. Of course, any aircraft mechanic's got to be, you know, neat and organized. And so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think he had a Cessna 140 or something like that. And then he had a couple other, every now and then he'll post something on Stunthangar, what he's working on and stuff like that. He's had some eclectic airplanes too, full-size airplanes too.
He's always got a project going. But I've enjoyed having him down here with us. And I'd heard about him for so long when he was up north, and then I was surprised we just kind of stumbled across him by accident down here. I think Wayne Robinson was at a barbecue or something somewhere near Bob's part of the country, and was wearing, but Wayne works for Zambelli Fireworks, had his Zambelli Fireworks hat on, and I think that's what sparked their recognition of each other. And so Bob's been buddies with us ever since, and he joined us up here with Fort Jackson, the Jackson Flyers. We call ourselves the Wildcat Rangers, but after security clamped down and all the other members left, we just called ourselves the Three Amigos, you know, because that's all that was left.
Yeah, no, I enjoy hanging out with Bob. I guess about the only time I see him anymore, though, is at the fly-in, chat with him, you know, a couple of
he always goes to Brodak. He passes by there a lot. He always calls me for a shopping list whenever he's going to go up in that neighborhood.
Yeah, he sometimes he shows up at the Nats at Scale Week, you know, helps out John or something like that. But I don't think he's even done that for a couple of years now. So
he spends a lot of time on the road, and he's got Harriet now, so he goes to her family. I think they've got family spread out from New Jersey, Florida. So
yeah, for a while, Harriet had an aunt who lived here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, so like 10 minutes away from me, and they come up to visit her a few times. And unfortunately, the aunt died now and everything like that, so they don't have any reason to come up here anymore. But it was fun having them, you know, around here too.
I admire anybody that can just hit the road spontaneously like that and drive hours and hours. That's outside of my wheelhouse. I'm not good for long drives like that anymore.
Yeah, I hear you. Of course, and again, Rusty, if we were driving Ferraris, we might find an excuse to get on the road a little more.
You might be right.
Yeah, yo, Chevy don't make it, but anyhow. So, is the control room for the Joe Nall is actually coming up like this next week, right?
The contest started today. They had half A, nostalgia, and profile. And tomorrow, the last day of Joe Nall is tomorrow, is the Pampa stunt classes.
Oh, somehow I thought it was a week away. Okay.
No, it started, Joe Nall began last Saturday, and so this is the final weekend coming up now.
Okay.
And I was up there yesterday, and they had a stunt camp yesterday, and a couple of years ago they had a judging clinic, but they didn't do that yesterday. But David Fitzgerald, who was there, Derek Barry, Randy Smith, a bunch of people like that were helping organize all of that. And David Fitzgerald flew the last flights on his airplane and donated it to the museum up there in the hangar. And so I was glad to get to see it fly one more time, watching him and Derek fly. And then they make it look so easy. It's like the sun's never in their eyes and the wind never blows, and they just crack the pattern out like perfect. But That's kind of how I fly inside of my head. There's
What-
never much wind in there either.
What airplane did he give to him?
If I'm not mistaken, it's called a Thunder Gazer. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Oh, one of them that. Yeah, Thunder Gazer. I don't know which one it was.
Red, white, and blue, of course. But
I wonder if he's been flying one now for several years.
this one is about, yeah,
France.
it's several years old. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Bill-
Derek's flying the same Dreadnought, I think, that he's been flying for a time.
Mhm. And he was the one I'm thinking of. It had like an American motif to the trim on one wing, and then the other wing it was French motif. It's all red, white, and blue, so it doesn't stand out. That it's hugely different. But if you look at the trim colors and the striping and stuff like that, you can see it's he was definitely trying to make a connection there. It was very nice.
I didn't even notice the French part. So if I get to look through the hangar, I'll see if it's up there hanging yet. And
Yeah,
look at it.
take a look at it. You'll see the trim. Just the trim patterns are a little different on each side, and you can see he was definitely making a statement with it. So it was really neat. And he's what? I want to say he's won 3 national champs with that, and I think 1 world. So that's
I know he won the Australian Worlds.
yeah.
And
So that's a very much a storied airplane. So
still with the Nazi engine too. That's great.
I guess I didn't realize they even had control line or a museum or a control line as part of the whole triple tree arrangement.
Hernandez won Australia Worlds.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I think Orestes won that. Yeah,
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it was Orestes.
Yeah, Orestes won in Australia. I think David won in France.
Yeah.
Boy.
I think the last one he won was in France.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it. The one Samantha went to last year?
No, way before that.
Okay.
It's
Would have been about 2012 or so, I think.
Yeah, you figure Rusty's won, and then two of them were won by the guy with the time Igor, and then a French guy won with a Super Tiger 60 2 years before that. So it's been 10 years since David won.
Does Igor pronounce his name with a short I, Igor, instead of Igor?
Yeah.
Does he? Okay. I've been corrected before and said it's Igor, not Igor, but yeah, wasn't sure about that. So. We talked on one night, discussed how Walt Musiano, which is the way I always said it, pronounced his name. He and Bob were friends, and Bob says it was Musiano with a SH sound is how he said it, but there are lots of different pronunciations depending on what version of Italian you speak. Mm-hmm. So some are Musciano and, but he pronounced it Musciano, like Mushhiano. And Bob did comment on that awful wig that he used to wear. And I always wondered if that was a wig, but Bob, I mean, always looked like he was caught up in a polyester factory explosion.
Yeah, man, you hit it right on the head. It's like, where's the leisure suit and everything like that?
Yeah, a 1970s polyester factory.
Yeah. But, talk about a prolific designer, and he, I think just about everybody's probably built something of his somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I certainly have. Yeah. I got a little devil hanging in the shop right now that's fuel soaked, and Leonard's coming back in. Hang on while I click Leonard in. You gonna give it another trial in?
Well, hopefully I don't get cropped out again.
You and Dennis blipped out at the same time, and
yeah, we lost it.
Back, so.
I had to figure out how to get back in by myself. I finally did it.
Oh, okay. See, Naomi's trained you up pretty good.
Yeah, she's gone to bed.
I'll tell her we said hi.
Indeed.
Will do.
So you hadn't been able to get out. Is it still rainy up there in Canada?
No, it hasn't rained here yet.
I think Monday you were talking about it was so stoggy. Maybe that was earlier in another week.
Yeah, that's right. It's still pretty wet up here, but hopefully get out flying next week.
Good.
We went out 2 days ago, but it wasn't very good.
So are we not supposed to know what Y-O-Y means? Is that what's on the wing? Y-O-Y? And then a question mark on the other wing?
Oh yeah. Why oh why did I build another nobler?
Okay.
All right.
Got it. I wouldn't have figured that out.
Excellent. All right.
Because they fly good.
Yes, they do. They're bigger to build though.
But, well, you know what? Tryan's right. Use the wood that comes in the kit to make bucks out of rather than to carve out. And that might be.
I'm
and
getting
maybe
double
a good little
feedback.
tutorial on that. I like making them long so you can slide the parts and make them fit up for different shapes and planes. So that's pretty cool.
Somehow I got to turn off something on this computer. I'm getting double feedback.
Oh, you got a YouTube page in the background. Close that.
How do I close it?
Well, you probably got tabs at the top, and one of them has a YouTube feed going. So you need to click the tab and bring it to the front, and then just stop the YouTube feed.
On the very top, it'd probably say Stunthangar Video Hangout. Then mine says Google Hangouts.
There'll be
Just
one
Google Hangouts. That's all it says.
It says what?
Google Hangouts.
We'll click
That's all
on
it
that
says.
tab and see what you see. Just, do you see a YouTube page when you click on that tab?
That's all it says is Google Hangouts.
What happens when you click on where it says that?
Nothing.
Does it have a little X to close it?
Yeah, I'm going to close it.
Yeah, close that. Oh, crap.
He closed the Google Hangout.
Hey, that
told me.
That got rid of the feedback.
Oh, for Pete's sakes.
Well, you know, it could have been a little more simple, like turning down his speaker or something like that. But.
So, when are you going to work on the little Ellie and make it electric?
Oh, well, I've already turned it in. It's one of those things, though, you know, when I do these things, I build the front end, build the electric conversion, and then the thing hangs up and waits on the side. So that's what it's doing. It's hanging over the workbench right now. It's a wing and a fuselage, like an I-beam, you know, the basic structure thing. It's just sitting there. So one of those round turrets. I know I built the tail feathers and stuff like that. I just have to basically finish the fuselage and, you know, sand everything, and it'll be ready to go. So
they got everything at Brodak already to cut the conversion part of it.
yeah, you can order it. I think it was 1969 or something like that comes to mind. But you go to their conversion kits and they'll do it. If you want, if I remember it, I'll send you a copy of the instruction sheet if you want to look it over first. But.
Okay, well, I figured I go to Brodak, pick one of them up and get the conversion kit. And
okay.
I think it'll be a cool little airplane. Probably on a 22 style or 1800. You think will fly it?
It's a really, really nice size. I mean, it's a little size, but believe it or not, it's the same wing area as a Ringmaster. All right. I didn't realize how little it was. But the fuselage is very long. The fuselage is like a classic size airplane or something like that. So I actually got thinking I could probably take the wing and respace the ribs and add a lot of wingspan and make it a normal size airplane and still have enough fuselage. So it's all pretty good.
Well, I'll be right back.
All right. Question while Steve is wandering off there. I missed last week. Of course, missed the Mondays. Do you know, did Sparky ever finish off that airplane? He was putting a new set of elevators on the airplane. He thought he was going to fix it. Do you know, did he ever report back that he did that and then flew it?
He did. He flew it and it flies nicely now. That's what he was flying yesterday. And I got a couple of good videos of him too. I still need to put them back together and put them on YouTube. But yeah, it's working well. That's the Monado, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a real pretty airplane. I
Gorgeous, yeah.
And I wouldn't normally go for a bigger elevator. But he needed more
Yeah.
area back. That was an easy way to get it. So
Well, he had made it smaller than designed by accident, I think, and so yeah. When he increased it, he said it gave it the control authority that it was missing before, and he flew it well yesterday, other than the wind changing directions, and I was all set up to get a good video, from the judge's perspective. It wasn't an official, but it's where the judges would be. And as soon as he got in the air, the wind flipped 180 degrees on him and stayed that way.
yeah, that's goofy when that happens. So,
Yeah.
So did you get to fly yesterday, Rusty?
What'd you say, Steve?
Did you get to fly yesterday?
No, I didn't. Was walking down there to give a try on the old electric Skyray, but it managed to get cracked up as I was approaching the field. So, yeah, well, that's okay. Holly wasn't there either. She didn't want me flying anyway, so she'll be there tomorrow to take care of me if I fall down and break my neck. So I'll have somebody out in the circle with me to fall on, hopefully.
mm,
So did Derek bring his new airplane or not?
He had the same old dreadnought he's been flying. I don't. He had something else, and it was red and white. I can't remember what it was though. It didn't look new. I didn't look that close though.
Okay. I know he's been posting pictures of his new dreadnought.
No, this was not that. This was the same old one that he's been flying forever, since before the Matrix.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't seen that Matrix in a long time. It must just hang in the shop.
I think he was disappointed in it because of the weight or something.
Yeah, it was too heavy. It was still worth it to make it as beautiful. It's a showpiece, and that's all. I know he hoped it would be a championship flagship, but yeah, like I said, it's just too heavy. Too much paint on it, I guess. It sure got my attention though. When they put that picture on the back of Stunt News of him. Oh, here comes Rich Imhoff. I'm off. Hang on, Rich. I didn't, at the time they put that picture, I was totally new, just out of half A, didn't even know the big stuff really existed, and had joined the club and saw that magazine and his picture, and I had to know more about the plane and the guy that built it, so I looked it up, read the article and looked him up, and then I found Stunthangar. What's going on in the background there?
I don't know. A note says Mike Lonte is joined up.
Oh, hang on. Let me let him in. We got a lot of,
Turned his lights on or something.
well, we might be in the dark out at Triple Tree. There we go. Hey, Mike, you're on. We can't see you, but you can see us.
Got Sparky here.
Hey, Sparky.
I've been trying to live stream all day, but I'm trying the app right now. With this stuff? Apparently, I do. Yeah, it's working. I got no internet in my. We just watched the night flying of the flying wings. There was like 10 of them up there zipping around with LED lights in, and they're pylon racing back and forth down the runway.
All right.
Electric flying wings with LED lights. It's really something, man. We had a midair. We're smacking them in and hitting the ground.
Was that the same thing they flew last night you had on there, Mike?
Yeah, it was the same thing. They just finished. If they go up again, I'll stick my camera in the air, and you guys, all you can see is the lights. But
yeah,
unfortunately, they don't put LEDs on the ground, so nobody knows.
They're moving pretty quick, though. They're moving pretty fast.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
Well,
Rusty,
did y'all get some good flying done today?
Rusty.
Yes.
You still have your string on?
No, I took it off. It was starting to hurt, but the engine's in the car.
Okay. What string? What the hell are you talking about?
You ask Sparky, he'll tell you about it. He told me to leave myself a reminder to bring him his Conquest engine.
Oh, okay. String. I got you.
Yeah. It was too
Watch.
tight, so I took it off and put the engine in the car.
He put the engine in the car, but he'll forget and take the wrong car.
Yeah, that's it. You take their car. That's what I do.
Hey, guys, did y'all get any good flying in today?
Oh yeah.
Good. So did you get the SV flying right?
Oh man, don't ask me about that thing. I don't even want to
Okay.
talk about it.
So Will said y'all had a impromptu contest with the flying the little electrics when nobody could fly FA because they were all wrecked. Did
Yeah,
y'all
they
fly
flew ring
rat?
rats, I guess. Will flew a ringmaster last night at 11 o'clock at night under the moonlight and did 2 full patterns on a ringmaster last night.
Holy shit!
Yeah, in the dark.
No lie. Okay, dude, there.
No, this is us.
Yeah, it's a pretty full moon, so that probably helps.
Yeah.
Is that the moon we see in your picture?
No, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, that's either that or the camper light.
Sam, where you at? Well, I need a flashlight. If we had a flashlight.
I got a flashlight right
There you go.
Why did everybody say
Oh,
that?
here we go. Here we go.
Oh, there you go. Now we can see it.
A little better.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Turn the flashlight off.
Yeah, right now. I'm blind.
All kind of ugly all over Triple Tree now.
No, the faces are ugly.
Your face is ugly, yes.
I'm the ugly. Yeah.
Must be Doran, huh?
All right, we got
Whoa!
one. One up.
Did you hear that? I'm installing Hangout app, so when I come on, you can let me in, Rusty.
Okay.
Did you say? What did you say to you?
There was a third scale. Just went in a lake over there. Sam said it hit the ground, but they do a 3 guys
We're losing you, Mike.
strobe light.
Yeah, we're losing your signal, bud.
Okay.
Hey, do you know what
Too
time?
ugly.
Do you know what time the pilots meeting is in the morning?
8:30. They want to get started.
Okay. Wow.
8:30.
I might, if I don't make first round, I'll be there for second round. I'll try to be there for first round.
Well, I'll say this: if you like RC stuff, man, this is the place to come to see big, giant scale stuff and jets and everything. I went down on the vendors line today. Randy Rich was here. I didn't know he'd been here. I would have gone and seen him 2 days ago, but we just made it to the vendors line today, and Randy was down there with selling fuel and kits and stuff like that. Of course, Derek Barry's here, Dave Fitzgerald, Randy Smith. Dave Fitzgerald donated his Thunder Gazer that he won the World Championships with. He donated that to Triple Tree here to hang on the wall in there.
Yeah, they had a ceremony and everything up by the hangar, didn't they?
They did. Yep, today at noon. Sam and I went down and visited the Learning Center. Man, there's so many flipping control line planes in there, built beautiful airplanes. There's probably 50 of them in there. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous airplanes. And of course, in the hangar, they got the full scale, the P-51 Mustang, the AT-6. There's 2 Stearmans in there, a couple ultralights, and some other.
There's that new yellow Cub up there that's 80 something percent. It was on the little plaque they gave us, the aluminum plaque.
Yeah, they got 2 Cubs in there when we were there today. So pretty neat place for sure.
If they still got that big sailplane in there,
I did not see a sailplane in the hangar.
it might come and go.
But yeah, it's been cool. It's been a lot of fun.
I tell you what, I was so dirty when I got home yesterday. I can't imagine what you guys that have been up there all week feel like. I mean,
Well,
man,
they have these things called showers, Rusty, and you drive down to the shower house with your towel,
Oh, that's
clean
right.
clothes, and a bar of soap, and then you're fresh.
Ah, good. So you
Do that
found the
every
shower
night.
house. I'm glad.
You do
You were
that
pretty
every
good
night,
yesterday.
you're all warmed up from the day. It's called bathing.
Yeah. Okay, that's new. I'll have to try that. Yeah.
And it's cool because you get to drive down to the other end. The shower houses are actually down by the 3D line down there, the gas or 3D line. So, I mean, it's amazing the size of the airplanes and the way these guys are flying them, man. It's really cool to just sit there and watch.
I was watching some great tandem flying yesterday from the circles. You could see them, and they were doing some cool stuff.
Yeah, the stuff at night is better. It's like there's a team of 3 guys, and it's 3 third scale gassers, and they all got white lights on them, and they go up, and it's like they do a bomb burst, and they crisscross, and I mean it's like a 3-person aerial show that you'd see at a real air show, but it's at night with RC stuff, and they got it down. It's something to see for sure.
It's hard to believe that RC people build stuff and fly it that aren't ARFs, huh?
No, they don't. They are ours. Absolutely, all those gassers are ours. Actually, we were just talking about that earlier when Will and I went down to the vendor section and the main flight line. We were looking at all the airplanes and stuff, and Will was like, "Yeah, they're cool, but they don't impress me because none of these guys they don't build them, they don't paint them, they come out of the box. You can buy a third scale gasser ARF, they're $1,800. And you add a motor and servos, you're assembling it, but they don't paint them. They slap some decals on them and you go wreck them, and then they go buy another $4,000 airplane because all these guys are loaded, I guess. I mean, the motorhomes and buses down here, man. There's some $500,000 motorhomes down here.
Okay, how did you get on? I got Hangouts on.
Go to Stunthangar and click the link on Stunthangar to join the call.
Yeah, but how do I get in?
Not from there. Hey, I'm gonna hang up and help Sparky get on his phone. So
Okay.
all right.
All right. There we have our triple tree update for now. Maybe they'll get back in. Okay, Sparky, let me tell you, there's this site called Stunthangar, and you go to the At the Bench thread, and
But
there's a link in there.
You got to be a member.
Yeah, you got to join.
Just a question here. I've got the blue box chat. I've got the little chat window on the right side. I don't see anybody making any comments.
That's because that's our internal chat box for us in the video, but the one where the YouTubers hang out, you open the YouTube watch page. You go to the Stunthangar home page on YouTube and open the video there, and then stop it so it doesn't stream, but the chat box will pop up, and you can click 3 dots at the right top of that chat box and pop it out, and then resize it, position it where you want it. And I just park it right next to my video window and put everything else in the background. Is that too much information in one shot?
Kind of.
And I just park it right next to my video window.
I had done it before.
You got 2 feeds. You need to mute that YouTube feed.
I had done it before with a separate window.
Yeah. Hey, Dennis, you need to stop the YouTube feed because we're hearing it repeating in the background.
That was me.
Oh, it was you. Oh, sorry. Never mind. Never mind.
No, it wasn't me. It's Dennis.
Oh.
I think it was Steve. Steve is
Confuse me. I'm easy to confuse. Hey, Jeff Riley just came in. Hey, Jeff. Just got home from Vegas. All right. I hope you came home with more money than you went with. But he's over in the YouTube side. But yeah, here comes Steve Hines again. Hang on. Let me let him back in. People are popping in and out like crazy. There we go. Okay, Steve, you're back.
Yeah, I tried to bring up YouTube and it kicked me out, so I was like, screw it.
Yeah. Yeah, my YouTube didn't start correctly. I just got a black window on that page, but
Hey,
yeah,
Dick,
when it does start, you gotta stop that feed.
Huh?
I want to see his new airplane. I went out to the field and I flew and everything. He didn't bring it with him.
It's sitting here. Let me.
All right, show and tell time.
Yeah.
There's the new one.
Oh yeah. That
Ah, the
looks
dagger. Hey, it's looking nice. I like your daggers on the tail.
Yeah, I thought he'd be flying it tonight, but he worked with his other one.
This one will go up next week. It weighs less than the profile. Come out at 56 ounces. The profile version of it weighs 57.
Okay, here comes Sparky. Let me let him in. And show and broadcast. Okay, we got you, Stunt Hanger.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Nowhere.
Oh, right.
All
I
right.
got you.
Can you,
I got you presenting to everyone, so give us a flashlight on your faces.
okay, hold on. I got the light right here, Mike.
Okay. All
There we go. All right, how's that?
That's pretty good. Little junky, but we got you.
Scary, but
Yeah, it looks like you're getting ready to tell us a scary ghost story or something.
you guys sitting around a damn bonfire or what?
Roasting marshmallows on the control line field.
There ain't much happening out here right now. There's 2 electric airplanes. We had 3 last night. I did get it on camera. I will be posting that video when I get home, but I have the internet in my pocket and it's so bad here. It's pretty jumpy.
Yeah, I'm surprised you got it as good as you do. Take what you can get out there.
Well, I got it. Like I said, I got it in my pocket, but there's no cell towers out here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I do have it set up now. I can broadcast with it, and that's all I want to do. So I will let you guys go, have fun, and when I get back, I'll do a report and put up a video.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Thanks for dropping in and giving us the report, and carry on. Y'all get some rest, and we'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
See ya.
All right. There we have it, live from Triple Tree Aerodrome, NRE, South Carolina.
There it is.
Rich, you get a hold of Pat?
Yeah, he's going.
Oh, okay. Is he gonna ride down with you or?
Yeah. It was Max's birthday. He was out to Max's house with all the kids.
That's why he was printing out all them things for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess Lynn gave up after he accidentally closed his video window. We're still here, Lynn. If you want to come back, we'd be glad to have you. I'm going to step away for a second. I got to go to the refrigerator. I'll be right back. Y'all don't burn the house down while I'm away.
All right.
Yeah. So, what size battery you think that little Ellie will take?
I'm planning on an 1800.
1800.
Yeah. It's got room for more, but I think weight wise and everything like that, it's just not very big. So I'm trying to make everything as tiny as possible. I did put a 2010 motor in it, and that may be a mistake. It may be bigger than it has to be, but I know that motor on 4 cells does a great job with a 9.4.5, and I think that combination will work. I'm just a little worried that probably could have used the 2218 or something like that. Maybe saved a little bit, saved a little weight. I don't know.
Now, is that the same motor that I got in the Ringmaster?
Exactly. Basically, it's planning on the Ringmaster size power system. Except your Ringmaster, you probably got a 2200 pack, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. What's really going to decide it for me, obviously, when I get the thing all finished and I'm going to balance it, and the 1800 pack weighs, what is it? Something like an ounce and a quarter, ounce and a half less. And if I can get it to balance with the 1800 and get enough flight out of it, and I'm pretty sure I could, that would save some weight. That's all. There's room for the 2200. Heck, and of course there's room for the 22. There's room for the 3500 too. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I made a side axis battery door for it, and that all turned out really nice too. So.
Cool. I want to try. Yeah, hold up the tail, Dick. Yeah, I want to see the difference in the tails on that.
Here, I'll click on it so YouTubers can see it.
Look at the difference.
That's the same wing, yeah.
Thing is huge.
Yeah, definitely put a tail on that.
They're the same wing.
You know what? That plane looks kind of like not the front. It looks kind of like a Magnum in the wing and tail area.
Yeah, it's a Time Machine 50 size wing.
Yeah, I almost asked if that was related to a time machine because that turtle deck and all looks time machine-ish.
Then it looks like more like a stiletto fuselage.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a rear exhaust Stalker 51 in it. This one's got a side exhaust 51.
Do you get those Stalkers from Tom Dixon?
Yeah.
Where are they made?
Ukraine.
I think aren't they made in the Ukraine?
I believe the Ukraine, yeah. They're a beautiful engine. Because the one in the yellow plane has got almost 2 gallons of fuel through it, and you take the cylinder head and it looks like it's never been run. Pull the head off and the piston's just clean as a whistle. But I don't use anything with castor oil. It's all straight collapse. And it's the
like Technoplate.
Yeah, it's the new stuff, the thin, it's low viscosity.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Technoplate Light, I think they call it.
Yeah. Now the Super Technoplate is mixed with castor, is that right?
Yeah, that's got 20% castor in it.
Okay.
That's what we're running in my nephew's 46. And you pull the head off that, and there's carbon buildup on the piston already. And it's got about the same amount of fuel through it. They both got damn near 2 gallons through them.
Is that Klotz red colored?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why most of the fuel we buy is red.
Yeah.
Because we use Klotz.
Yeah.
For a couple of years there, we were getting a lot of purple. And I didn't like that stuff. I mean, it ran fine, but it was.
Yeah, like the old missile mist.
People were complaining about it staining their finishes.
Yeah, Duke told me what the stuff he used to turn that stuff purple. It only was like a tablespoon for a 55-gallon drum.
Wow.
That color purple.
Well, you wouldn't want to eat it. You wouldn't want to swallow a tablespoonful of that.
And he said the only reason he colored missile mist purple, he says a Mexican knew what barrel to put it in, what can.
Okay.
That's funny. My dad used to tell the story when they were rat racing back in the 1960s. They were using all Yukon fuel, which is basically clear.
Yeah.
But he went out one day and he dyed some of it red, some of it blue, and everything like that. Went flying. I don't know, blue fuel, I guess it was. He's just shaking his head. That's not running right. And he put the red fuel in it. Oh yeah, that's it. It's all the same stuff, right? But there was just one way you kind of game everybody. Oh, what's in that red fuel? You know?
Yeah.
Charge different prices for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I don't know. It's just anything. I've tried doing that with my batteries and stuff, and I can't get any traction on that at all. They're just, oh, these blue batteries,
Right, huh?
batteries. Yeah, nobody cares. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to anodize some parts on on some of the motors. Say that was a special made one
Yeah.
from China.
I said something about I took my motors, I customized them, I polished out the bypasses, and I put a piece of wood in the bypass so it wouldn't burp on the outsides, you know. But nobody believed that either. So
Oh, were you one of the pioneers on that project?
I don't know. It kind of amazes me, you know. Everybody, Fox 35. We've been running Fox 35 for 100 years now, and all of a sudden they don't run unless you put a piece of wood in the bypass. It's like,
Yeah.
huh?
I've only got one Fox Stunt 35, and it doesn't burp bad enough to bother me.
What's crazy is that, and I don't know if it's different year or whatever, but I got one Fox that burps so bad that it just like stops and restarts in the air.
Yeah.
And
Mine's done that.
same fuel, same everything on the other one, perfect. Doesn't do it. I have no idea. And I thought it was the airplane and the tank, and I've changed out motors, and the other one runs fine, but that one really burps bad, and I don't know why.
Joe
Well,
Crescent.
you know, you don't have to worry about it if it burps. You only have to worry about it if it doesn't pick up on the other side. Now
Yeah.
you know.
You know it's going to do it. Just plan for it.
That's it. You just stop thinking about it. But, I don't know.
Hey, we got a question from Jeff Riley over on the tube. He wants to know for Rich or whoever knows, is clots okay for all engines or just ball bearing? I've always heard caster or don't even run them. And it just depends. Different engines are different, but what's your take on that?
They're an ABC engine. You got no problem with straight clots.
ABC straight clots is fine.
You have ABC motors, but anything with Meonite piston, the old motors, you better have
Yeah.
caster in there.
Old steel motors got to have caster, I guess, right? Because they'll overheat without it.
At least oil.
In bronze bushing motors, I still run caster.
Yeah.
Bronze bushing motor.
I'm running 16% oils all.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of debates over how much oil. Cox didn't even put full 20% oil in their fuel. They put like 17% caster, I think, and they added a couple of percent of some DuPont oil from the mixing sheets I've got. Mark's probably got the same mixing sheets.
I thought it was 0.2%.
Oh, well, maybe it is. I might be mistaken.
Give me a second. I'll take a quick look.
Okay. Yeah, me and Mark hang out on the Cox Engine Forum, so we got just mountains of information and sheets and stuff like that from Cox enthusiasts. That's a great little forum. It's small, but it's fun. And Jeff Riley thanks you for your answer. It says, cool, thanks. Basically, all the old stuff is caster. Yeah.
All right. And I'll just say that I have the last IC airplane I built had a K&B Greenhead 35 in it. And if I run Omega, that's like, you know, that's made by the same folks that make Cool Power. Omega is Clots 100 or something like that, which basically means it's like 18% total oil, about 4% is caster, and the rest is Clots.
Yeah.
Well, Cambie Greenhead runs like a watch on that stuff. And but it was running kind of loose and everything like that, so I put some 25% caster in it, and it refuses to run. and I'll never do that again. So I don't know. I'm thinking back in the day, black super fuel was always the classic 5% nitro, 29% oil, and everybody says that's what you got to run. I remember back in the day, nobody, and I mean nobody, ran that crap because the engines didn't run worth a damn on it.
Yeah.
What boxes would run something with closer to 18 or 20% oil because that was plenty. And learn later on, people like Bob Gieske, they were running up to 25 or 30% nitro. They're running like basically missile mist, and they did that because the fuel burned better and everything like that. But nobody used Fox super fuel back in the 60s because it was crap. And people insisting on running it now, you can't understand why their Foxes don't fly Ringmasters. That's the reason. So that's an editorial opinion coming from the electric.
Okay.
So
I've got strictly my own opinion that I wanted to add to the castor oil question is that I think even if you got a plane that prefers mostly castor, it's still a good idea to put some synthetic in it because, in my opinion, it helps slow the varnish buildup and kind of regulate it so it doesn't get over varnished, but it doesn't get under varnished either, like it would with no castor.
there's no question that the castor varnishes up, especially back when you started running mufflers, and everybody's got to run a muffler now.
Here comes Sparky again.
And they just get so dirty and crappy inside and everything like that if you're running castor, even a little bit.
Oh,
So
present that to everyone,
Hey.
Rusty.
I am doing that right now. You're on. I'm gonna turn your volume up.
Looks like a UFO sighting there in Carolina.
Yeah, strange lights over the airport. Gosh, it must be UFOs.
Indeed.
The camera is not tracking it too good.
Yeah, we're getting a bunch of freeze frames here, but it is really cool.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one there. Wow, you think those are aliens? It's
Wait
funny
till you
how.
see the movies I got.
Oh, those ones I took of you yesterday turned out good. Oh, you can hear them now. Everybody be as quiet as you can. You hear those ducted fans.
This is the night pylon race.
I don't know. I thought I could hear the theme from the X-Files, but
It sounds like electric.
Yeah, it's all ducted fans, it sounds like. Yeah, you can actually see shapes in some of the freeze frames. That's what we're getting, is just a bunch of freeze frames.
Yeah.
and a bandwidth.
All right, well, I'll let you go.
Okay,
All right,
Sparky.
right.
That's cool.
Thanks for the visuals. All right.
The first Rodak fly-in we went to, 2007, I think it was. They at the banquet, or after the Friday evening banquet, there was a bunch of guys flying there with basically they had a light stick, strapped to the side of the airplane, and one or two of them laying on the ground. I think they put one on the ground near the center of the circle so people wouldn't wander and stuff like that. But I thought that was really cool. I'd like to try that sometime.
Yeah, I love seeing Will fly in the pattern last night. It's nice that the moon's full this week.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving right into it yesterday on the way home, and it was just huge.
He's on there. They wouldn't weigh nothing. You could put them on a sticks out on the runway. And
yeah, you can the LEDs are light. You don't need a lot of them either to see where you're at. I remember Doug Moon down in Dallas a few years ago posting about, they were having record high temperatures down there, hot, nasty summer and stuff. And he was talking about flying in the middle of the night. He was doing his regular Nats practice in the middle of the night because where he was, he had enough ambient light and whatever to keep flying. And it worked. And he was practice flying at night because just to avoid the nasty heat they were going through.
Yeah. If it was back in the 60s, you could probably get paint with radium in it, and paint your plane up. They said that stuff was so powerful that you could drive past a jewelry shop that had a grandfather clock with radium on the hands, and it would register on a Geiger counter out on the street. I don't know if that's true or not.
Wow.
Well, I know that all the people that painted it on the hands and shit, about 100% of them died.
They used to put it in toothpaste.
Yeah.
It had energy. It had to be good for you. It's energetic. It's hard to believe, and I'm not a physicist, but still it's hard for me to believe that wasn't a big question, even from those that couldn't yet prove it was dangerous. I don't know. Marie Curie, she used it a long time before anybody else, and you saw, what happened to her and her husband too, I guess.
Yeah. Well, they flat out didn't understand anything with radiation poisoning or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like they would have understood after World War II when they looked at the people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
I think it became terribly apparent at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It became terribly apparent to the public.
Yeah.
Yep. Kind of hard to hide something like that.
You were absolutely correct, Rusty. It's 18% caster, 2% dowel for the Cox.
Okay. Dow, yeah. I think I said something else, but yeah, that's what. And I think that Dow's probably the same type stuff that Klotz makes now.
What was the DuPont part?
The Dow, the 2% oil in the Cox engine, it was 18% caster, 2% Dow lube.
Okay. I don't know if they still make Dow lube.
You broke up on that one, Steve. Couldn't hear what you said.
So I wonder if they still make Dow lube.
Dow Chemical still in business?
Yeah.
Hey, JP, evening from DC. JP checks in with us. Good to see you. You missed our triple tree report, unless you were watching. Sparky and them just checked in with some flying LEDs over the field at Triple Tree Aerodrome, right up the road here.
So you've been doing any flying, Dennis?
No, not much. Went out a couple of weekends ago, and Wes and I flew at Hamilton for the RC Club, and then the next day we went down to Muncie and flew at Riverside Park. You know where that is? It's the old Muncie flying field before they built AMA. So I got 4 flights total so far, and that's good. Got a couple of flights on the electric combat plane, so yeah, there's one for you. I put a different prop on it from what I had when we had them at Brodex that year, and the airplane is now 1 second a lap faster than it was, which is a lot.
Yeah, 1 second's a bunch.
Yeah, well, it's like 2.7 second laps now, and on 42 feet of line, it's just this old man's just getting screwed into the ground, So I think I can get it to go a little bit faster, and I can survive it, but go a little bit faster, and then I might have to put it out on 52s or something like that.
That's one of the combat airplanes?
Yeah, the wings that we had out there a couple of years ago, the Gladiator. I think Sammy flew one.
Yeah. Are they selling pretty good for John or not?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think there was a lot of interest in them. They didn't have them, right then. I think the knock on them might be the fact that they seem to be a little fragile. Don't know that we can really go campaigning with them or anything like that. They fly nice, and they're you can fly them in places where you need to be quiet and stuff like that. But they're just not beaters.
Okay.
So I am still thinking. I'm going to see the speed. I'm flying that thing at about, it's a little over 60 miles an hour, I think, right now. And I'm going to see if I can I'm going to try a little prop pitch and stuff. I'm going to see how close to 75 I can get it. And if I can get it up to 75, I might put it out on 60 feet of line and just see, what I think that'd be a blast. Of course, I'd have to fly it with, if I was going to fly 75-mile combat, I'd have to fly it with big lines and all that. And that could be a real killer too. So
Yeah. Yeah, they should have a half-a combat match there at they got speed limit. They did the half-a, they could have used them and probably get a few people into flying and stuff. Because man, you need to get to 75 miles an hour with a streamer on it.
According to JP, there's some good stuff on Facebook from the circles that Mike posted videos. If anybody looks at Facebook, on the that would be on control line flying on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wonder what happened to Mike's plane. He didn't want to talk about it, so that's not good.
He was having, there's nothing broken, I don't think, but he was having trim problems yesterday. And David Fitzgerald and Derek and Randy were all, trying to help him out with it. And it just wasn't flying to his expectation. But when he first started flying the plane, he reported that he could fly it well. And I asked him if it's any worse than it was then. And he said, no, I'm pretty sure. So I think he'll have a serviceable plane tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
That plane got slagged yesterday, and it had been repaired, and he put it up tail heavy, and half A's are the worst planes to try to fly tail heavy, and everybody knows that a nose heavy plane flies badly and a tail heavy flies once. Well, that proved true on this one.
Oh, okay.
And then they also, Sam kissed the ground at the bottom of an hourglass on his stunter, not the rectangulus, but it was another one. And it's one that he likes flying a lot. And so Mike put it back together. That was fine. So they're okay. They had a rough day yesterday. They were both probably way too tired to be doing high intensity control line flying, and they were in extreme concentration mode when I got there, so I didn't mess with them much. I just watched.
Was Doran there when you got there?
No, not yesterday. Sparky got there late afternoon, and I didn't see Doran.
Yeah, I heard it. I could hear his voice there when they were on. When Mike was on, I could hear.
Yeah.
Doran.
Oh, I didn't notice it.
Yeah, I could hear him too. Yeah.
So yeah, I was wondering. So Derek or whatever, or them guys, they couldn't trim out his airplane for him, or
I didn't ask for details. Like I said, they weren't in any mood for a bunch of chatter with me about trimming the plane. They just were having trouble with it, and I didn't press them.
oh, okay.
You know how they're in contest mode, man.
Yeah.
So I try not to mess with people when they're in the zone, and they were in the zone all day long.
Yeah,
Sam,
not a good time. Mike was doesn't sound like they had a happy ending. Mike did not sound like a happy camper about that situation tonight. So at the very least, it's still a work in progress.
Yeah. Yeah. At worst, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, place to have people help trim it, fly it, and let you know what's wrong with it.
Oh, I see. You found the chat box on YouTube, Dennis.
Yeah, I have to open a second window. I actually open that in Microsoft and in Edge. And it works well for me there. And then I got, of course, the Chrome for the video
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, just park them next to each other. It works good.
Yeah, I thought I could do it all in one window, but I guess not. So.
Yeah. Well, it helps me because my video screen, unlike yours, is popped out into its own separate window. So that frees up a lot of room for me moving things around and rearranging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got about a 2/3, 1/3 right now. So
yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah, the trim part, that's the worst part about getting an airplane to fly, is getting them trimmed.
Sometimes it is, yeah. I've gotten lucky and they flew pretty good right off the table, but then I'm not always looking at the minute things that the higher level people are. And that's probably a mistake. You know, it probably keeps me from being a higher level, but hey.
I think trim happens at a couple of different stages and everything like that. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is get the wings level and get the balance about right.
Yeah.
Fly the heck out of it. And then over time, you start seeing other things that maybe aren't quite right. You tweak and bend and mutilate and whatever. And
yeah.
Sometimes it helps, sometimes not. But I think it's important that you get the airplane. The best way to trim the airplane is to fly the airplane.
Yeah, I actually am pretty meticulous about bench trimming before I hit the field. You know,
and that's a huge thing. I don't think people used to do that now. But yeah. You can take a half a dozen flights out of your trimming thing just by just watching what.
And then of course the first flights up are upright and inverted. Check the wing level, you know, and figure out what's causing that, because it's not necessarily tip weight or a warp or vertical CG. I don't remember the names of all the CGs, but you know, it's all kind of stuff. So you know, I go through that, but after that, I don't always understand some of the specifics that the experts talk a lot about.
That's all right. They don't understand it either. So it's like we all suffer from Princess and the Pea syndrome and everything like that. And it's like, oh gee, if it only did this, if it only did that, and then convince ourselves that we've made a big change and really we haven't and whatever. But it's always nice just to try things and see what works. Sometimes you find good, sometimes you go backwards.
Sooner or later, you just got to fly the damn thing, you know. So
yeah, what a concept, huh? So,
yeah.
I got an airplane right now. I've never really been thoroughly happy with it, and I've flown it for a few years now. Last year I tried. I normally fly it with a 10-inch prop. I put an 11-inch prop on it, thinking, gee, that's going to help me out in the calm air and stuff like that. We get a little more thrust and everything like that. And the airplane went from flyable to unflyable. Changing from a 10-inch to 11-inch prop, just to change the prop diameter, going the same airspeed and everything like that. The airplane absolutely would not fly level, wouldn't fly straight. Turn a corner, it would go any which way it wanted or anything like that. And I thought, my God, I must have dropped it or something like that. I put the old prop back on it and went right back to where it was.
Wow.
And I've never encountered anything like that. I've shared that story with some other people, Bob Hunt and a few other folks. They haven't seen that kind. They usually when you put a big diameter prop on, one of the things that happens is maybe it doesn't turn as tight or something like that.
Yeah, because of the gyroscopic effects.
Yeah, but this went. This wouldn't fly level, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard of. So, at any rate,
That could have been gyroscopic too. A bigger prop would torque the frame harder.
Yeah, 10 to 11 isn't a big change. And it was
No,
actually,
it's not.
it was the prop weight wasn't appreciably different. So just one flight and I put it right back. And well, I ain't going there again.
Yeah, it's living room.
Now, gee, if that's the difference between a 10 and 11, maybe I should try a 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, just cause. And that's one of the things that I'm going to be trying this year. I'm going to put a small prop on it and see if it goes anywhere. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
I'm gonna get off because I'm driving to that contest in the morning. I got to get up and go borrow my mom's car because I got a brake line leak on my truck, and I'm
All right.
have it fixed. So,
Well, I hope you have a good time. It sounds like a pretty cool event. So
yeah,
have fun.
what was all 4 of them events? I think I got them right.
Slalom, fun stunt, 15 speed, and half A speed.
Oh, not doing the carrier this weekend?
No.
Oh, okay. That's the next one.
Last time.
Is Samantha going with you?
No, she's in Cedar. She's at Cedar Point. So she'll be back tomorrow night or something. Probably tomorrow afternoon.
Is she out of school yet for summer?
Yep.
Terrific.
She's been out for a week.
Terrific. Is she going to say she's starting to fly or planning to or whatever?
I have no idea. She quit her job and got another job already, and so I don't know how vacations are going to work out or anything like that.
Brodex will come up real quick here, pretty.
Yeah, I know it, and that's what. Now she's out of vacation again, but she took this job at Myers, and she wanted a different job there. Well, they wanted her to take this pricing deal, and she had to work a 3rd shift on Saturday night. And well, they told her that when another job came up, you could transfer. She did it for, I don't know, 6 months, and she hated that 3rd shift on a Saturday night with everything else on days because it messed up her sleeping pattern or whatever. But she put in for another job. First, they told her no, and they said, well, you said that, I could do that. And I took this job. And then they came back to her and said, okay, you can move, but you got to find somebody to take your job. She goes, I got to go out on the street and find somebody to take my job. They said, no, somebody from inside Meyer. She goes, nobody wants this job. That's why I got, you talked me into doing it. So there was a big deal. And I don't know. She told him, she said, well, either you transfer me to the other job or I'm giving you my 2 weeks notice. And the store manager said a bunch of stuff. You're blackmailing me and all this kind of stuff. And they got Union Stewart involved in all this. And she said, you know what? I'm just done. I don't work for you no more. And she walked out.
What
She
a jerk.
said, people saying, how whoever was talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
So, no vacation time now.
Stuff like that's important. So, she's going to have to balance life and flying. And so that's all right.
Flying.
Yep. So I don't know. I'm hoping she can get time off for Brodak, but we'll see. I mean, get Brodak off, the Nats off, and they told her she could have off for the thing for the World Championships where they go down there and do that trial. But she's only been at this. Well, now she's been at her new job for 2 weeks, so no vacation for a year.
Well, all of our old stories did it when I was a kid, and then school and marriage and life happened, and now I'm back. So she's approaching that point in life. So, maybe she'll find a big part for it, and maybe she won't. But she's had a good run. I hope she sticks with it.
Yeah, she had planned on flying and stuff, so we'll see what happens. And it is what it is, I guess. And, you know, but she's just happy to be out of school because of all the homework and all that kind of stuff and what that takes. But yeah, we'll see. She may get it off. How, who knows? She may quit and go fly and then find another job. That's one thing about these part-time jobs or minimum wage jobs. There's thousands of them out there now. Can't get a good job, but you can get a part-time or minimum wage jobs.
Well, y'all have fun tomorrow, Steve. I hope it sounds like it's going to be a good event. Hope the weather's good and everything.
Yeah.
Weather don't look that great.
No. All right, Dick. I'll see you there tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
All right, take it easy.
Take care, Steve.
Yep.
Good night. I'm on knock off pretty soon here. It's 11:30 and I got to be at Triple Tree early.
Yeah, I got a starter battery go bad, so I recharged that and had one with a dead cell, so I had to get another battery out. Yeah, we're all set.
Dick, you got to hang out with those Steve and Samantha a little more. They got to change you over and bring you over to the dark side.
I've got electric planes. I got 3 of them.
All right.
3 of the planes that Steve had, as I built and gave to him.
Yeah. Going through my dad's stuff, I got a couple of his old starting batteries, and I don't even want to guess how old these things are, but you know, I'm sure they haven't been used much. They're just, you know, little NiCad starters and stuff. And I got to find my charger and just see if they'll even take a charge. But I don't know.
Just run a little 3-cell LiPo on the bottom of my starters. Got more than NiCads.
Why don't we call it tonight, gentlemen? I hate that it's before midnight, my usual minimum time, but I think we'll call it, and I'll see you on the other side and give you another final Triple Tree Joe Nall report on Monday night.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank all you people on YouTube over there, and thank you very much for the donations, the super chat donations. Those are great. And y'all chill out, have a good time, do something fun, come back, tell us about it Monday, and I'll see you on the other side. Good night.
Take care. Have fun tomorrow.
All right, man.
Good night.
Good night.